So, did she just fall?
Yeah, she toppled. She had to go down on
Saturday
a 4
nights.
inch platforms.
Gotta love Saturday nights. Should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. So this might play to my strengths tonight. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Sorry, fellas, but I could probably outrun both of you. But at the same time, we're looking for those cold spots. They're going to be blue or black. That's what we're looking for. So I want, there's always going to be blue or black in there, by the way, just because in reference of the heat or whatever's inside the frame. I'm looking for those blue or black areas to either move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs.
Look like a person.
Exactly, but I want it moving. Like that's the whole key. So there's always...
Basically look like you, but cold.
Exactly. So with that, I also have a blue dot bouncing around the screen right now. I set it up like that on purpose. I'm looking for 15+ degree temperature drops out of that blue dot. It is literally bouncing around the screen, looking for the coldest spot in the frame. So that's kind of how it works. So the 15+ degrees, we're, what did I say I was at? Probably around 77 degrees out here tonight. So we're gonna be looking for about 62 degrees and colder out of that. There's a lot of debunking in the event that the user actually finds the 62 degrees or colder. It might be a can on the ground, a sign, a windshield. You guys are seeing the point. We're always gonna debunk things first. I love to give you stats about the equipment you guys are about to use because I am not a TV show host and I am not a YouTuber. I don't make this shit up. So this guy captures about 4 to 5 pieces per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. So kind of put that in perspective. Do I have dozens where I'm like, not really sure on this one, I'm on the fence? Yeah, dozens. But 4 to 5 stamp of approval, that's kind of how this one works. So with this one, okay. We are fortunate enough on a Saturday night, looks like we only have about 2 to 3 cars in here. I can see on the other side of that truck. When we do spread out in this location, just stay away from those vehicles. You guys got the point. Nice and easy. You guys seem like you're a pretty good, responsible, and attentive group. I appreciate that. So, where are you? You're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. I told you, I'd take you guys to weird spots. This place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across. And we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. First and foremost, I guess, all communication devices, all 3 spirit boxes, and Jaden's word generating device. This is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse. You will be getting the answers from your communication boxes. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to cover the history and then we're going to spread out. I'm going to do round robins with you guys, maybe 2 or 3 of them based off of what's going on. And then I'm going to take a bunch of notes because I do keep a notebook with me. And I'll regroup us back here and show you how all of the answers tie together if we had any at all. Does that make sense to everybody? Every space we go to is going to be completely different. What'd you get?
Don't mock me.
Oh, who pissed her off today? Hopefully nobody. I'll be writing that one down just for...
Okay, good.
Hopefully we didn't.
Oh, that freaked me out.
Wow, that's coming right out of the gate. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. But anyways, I know, right? So, who the hell were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case nobody was paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know in the event that somebody hears the name Charles, which one it is, so that way I know how to address that specific Charles. So you guys are hopefully starting to see the point on that. Anyway, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us. Well, you guys all live in South Carolina too. You may have already known that. But at any point, I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. The only reason I bring it up, by the way, is because if I don't give the gentleman that recognition for signing that document, they're going to do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of a spirit box. So I just make sure I give it and we move on. We're going to be discussing Eliza anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was, do not expect numbers from the colonial days when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. It was kind of a creepy age gap back then, it's a creepy age gap now. So I'm just going to put that out there too. Anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. That's where Eliza's from. At least that's where her family's from. Dad thinks he's dying over there and wants to bring all of his kids home so he could see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, and instead she stayed put right here and got married. Well, it's 1744, and you don't get married in that particular year to earn a green card because it's no such thing because we're not a country yet. So this was a true love story, guys. I mean, through and through. There's nothing horrific about this location. So that way, when she hears things like "Don't mock me," I'm a little worried. So we're going to see what else comes out of these spirit boxes. But moving on, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it tonight because that's what we use those seeds for now. When she got her seeds, no idea what to do with them. Had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. You guys already know it's not always hot here. So then she learned how to make the dye right here, moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of her father and told him, rice plantations are going downhill, we're gonna make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman in colonial times. That is something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. You just need to know who we're discussing. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys showed up. All the communication devices, I'm going to give you guys focus questions. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can either say these things out loud, or you can focus on them. I want you to also keep in mind, we do have 2 cameras running plus my voice recorder. The only device that we're using tonight that does not get any communication whatsoever is going to be Burton's. So he's basically going to be like the barometer of how much activity we're actually going to expect out of this location. So if let's say Jaden's asking a question, it can go over to Jill's device. We don't know where these answers are going to go. That's the beauty of it. That's why you're going to tell me all the silly things that you're hearing. So, focus questions for you, and based on your spirit box, Eliza's death. Actually, we're going to stick, because I don't have a set of questions for that one yet, because it's still so new. You two are going to have the same set of questions. I want to test this out. So 4 majors that we get answers to. How old were you when you died? What did you die from? Where are you buried? Which president was a pallbearer at your funeral? So pallbearers are the people that carry the coffin over to the grave. I don't know what this age group actually knows.
So anything related to it?
Not anything. So most specific things. There's kind of 3 rules of thumb at this very weird location for asking questions. Obviously no yes, no's. That's an easy one. We've already talked about that. Be respectful and do not ask about her children. If you unintentionally poke the bear, we're all going to know it. So I'm just going to point that out, because all activity pretty much stops. So don't ask about the kids. I'll let you know why before we leave the space. Joe, with yours, you're going to stick to the mansion. It's not here anymore. Your device only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time. You've already seen like where major phrases are coming out of theirs. So what happened to the mansion? If we get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue. It's indeed a tragedy. Jake, your device. You're going to be looking for, obviously you're going to go after any of the marriage questions, because those are happy thoughts for her. So you can ask her how old she was, how long they were married. It will give you numbers too. But I also want you to ask Eliza what her maiden name is, the name she had before she got married, because she's the 2nd wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. In other words, he was married to one woman named Eliza, she died, and 5 months later he married the one I just told you about. Ironically, both of them have a maiden name, their name before they were married, that starts with the letter L. I'm not going to tell you what that is. Hopefully you get it on your spirit box so you know which Eliza we're dealing with. So let's put that back in play. 3 Chucks in play and 2 Elizas in play. Again, everybody had the same damn names back then. We have to know who the hell we're working with. So cameras, if you haven't already hit those record buttons, do so. I don't think I need to like actually show anybody anything extra about their devices. So I'm going to give you guys like a minute to explore the space and kind of see where we're going. We're going to stay within these confines over here, try not to wander in the back. I like to try to let us all keep an eye on each other. Have we heard or seen anything going on with our devices before we spread apart? Nothing? Jaden, no words coming up?
Hug.
Hug?
We had hug and scratch. Scratch we had.
Even still. So how you, actually, I'll keep you behind so I can show you how to get to that word list. Have you heard anything coming out of yours, Michaela?
Just,
Don't mock me?
yeah, don't mock me and don't change the subject.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Taylor, have you got anything?
I was trying to listen to you. I was also trying to listen to this, but I couldn't listen to both at the same time.
Okay, and that's fair. It's not an easy task. Spirit boxes by themselves are hard enough, let alone when I'm talking as fast as I do. So we do have some folks that are cutting through. Looks like they're going to that running car. So cameras, just be mindful of the people walking through. Spread out. I'm going to keep Jaden with me for just a minute so I can show her how to use that thing and not turn a phone off. Because apparently she doesn't remember how to do that. All right, guys, let's spread out. Any numbers? 2.4. 2.4. I'm still going to wait for that 2.5. I know it's like right there on the edge, but I'm still going to wait because I know we're going to get way more than that. At least out of this location. I'll talk about the averages with you once I start seeing like what's going on with the other devices.
Want me to go ahead and
Oh yeah, unmute on your end and start listening in. All right, guys, get to work. You guys scatter. Jaden,
All right, where do you want to go?
Yeah, go wherever you want. Just stay away from the damn cars.
Okay.
All right, your device.
Where do you wanna go?
figured out to get that work yet?
Let's see where
You want to go like over here?
Sure. By the dumpster.
Yeah. All right. So, do I have to like say her name? Because I need to know how old she is, or how old she was when she got married, right? Okay.
how old she was. Did you say, how did she die?
Yeah. Okay, I don't like it over here because I feel.
You
So
feel
like
what?
right here is good. And which president carried her casket?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eliza, how old were you when you got married? I'm gonna put both on. Okay, I guess I'll come back to that question and I'll ask another one. Eliza, which president carried your casket at your funeral? Answered the question. I don't think I got the answer to your question. Can you repeat your answer? How old were you when you got married? Okay. How did you die?
So I always ask, whose idea was it between the two of you?
To come over here?
Yeah, whose idea was it? So she just dragged you along?
Yeah. I haven't gotten like a straight answer, but I got answered the question.
Still pretty vague though.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what else comes up out of it. I mean, you're just getting started. Obviously, she's gonna be really good at this, just so you know. I can already tell, like, when people like just jump right in and they just start like right away instead of like asking me like, oh, I'm only hearing radio. I'm like, that's what I told you to listen
Yeah.
for. So thank you for paying attention.
You're welcome. I also got like brown nosing, like something was brown nosing. But I got that when we were over there. I just didn't want to like interrupt.
No, you're gonna have Tourette syndrome. If you're giving me too much, I'm gonna be like, calm down. Let me get through this. And I'm okay to tell you that because again, you're gonna be wanting to give me a whole lot more. And you're only gonna get better at this as kind of the night goes on.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to like pick out what's most important to think about, you know?
well, that's the thing is you don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I like to withhold the information. So like that brown nosing piece, you don't know that that's not relevant. So it's not at this location, but I'm gonna see if something else pops up because there is a ghost around the city that actually follows me around. And
Nosy?
and it's actually relevant to him.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to see if something else pops up. That's the interesting thing for me is I look for those specific clues. Look for those very specific nouns, numbers,
Yes.
you know, those kind of things.
Sammy?
I don't know who Sammy is.
No, Sammy? Okay.
Not at the top of my brain, but it's still a name. It doesn't mean
Okay.
it's not a teammate from Big John.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. So if we get like Tammy and then somebody else gets 32, I don't know that there's not a Sammy number 32.
Nothing funny over here.
Wow.
Sorry.
Have fun with it.
Thank you. This is cool. If you want to try it at the next one, let me know.
No, it's okay. You're having fun.
Dad, if you want to try it, let me know. Because you'd probably like it. 4. Number 4? Or like 44. 44, number 4. It was a 4. Okay, seriously, just answer this one question for me. Who was the president that carried your casket? Both? How old were you when you got married? It started playing Thriller.
Like just music?
Huh?
Just music or part of the song?
It's close to midnight. That was the part. Oh my god. Can you tell me how you died? Was it a disease? Were you sick? Did something happen? A laceration on my back? Laceration, that's like a cut or like a bruise, right?
Like a cut, yeah.
Okay, we'll come back. I have something to say. Dang it! I heard we had for the number and then that was it. Can you tell me how you died? Did something happen? You got scared? I would be scared too. It's Thriller again.
Which part this time?
Huh?
Which part?
The old man talking.
What are you saying?
I don't know. I just heard like his voice. Who was the president that carried your casket? There was 4 questions, but I only remember 3. How'd you die? Who was the president? And how old were you when you got married? Are we supposed to go over there?
No, I think everyone's just walking around. We can walk like to another part
Or
if
maybe
you
we
want.
can try a different place. I
Not
heard
over here.
really. Eliza, how old were you when you got married?
Was it how old were you when you died?
Sure, I can ask that too. Eliza, how old were you when you died? Eliza, I'm going to ask you this one more time. How old were you when you died?
Ask about the president again.
Huh?
Ask about the president again.
Who was the president that carried your casket?
Who was a pallbearer?
Huh?
Who was a pallbearer?
Eliza, who was the pallbearer at your funeral?
Which president?
Okay, let me rephrase that question because I messed it up. Do you want to ask it?
Which president was a pallbearer at your funeral? Let's walk over this way.
Alright, Michaela, what do you got now?
So when I asked, like, how did you die, it said a laceration on the back. Or at least that's what I made it out, I guess. That's what it sounded like.
Laceration on the back. Okay. Anything else?
Not really.
But did you get anything else that you remember?
Yeah, it might not
Remember you
always
said
be
it.
a direct answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like I heard mom, like your mother, but
Yeah, it was a lot more.
yeah,
It's too vague.
yeah, nothing I can really like.
But you said Thriller started to
Oh
play.
yeah, Thriller started to play twice.
Okay.
It's Close to Midnight was the first part of the song.
Let me ask you something. With the Thriller song, did you hear like the part of the song where like Vincent Price is laughing? Like he says that.
I did. I
Okay, so
heard
that's
that the
where
second
that came from.
time,
So
but the
Taylor
first
heard
time.
laughing, and I
Uh-huh.
was just wondering, is that the part? Like since you said
Yeah,
that, I'm like that makes sense to me. Okay.
So the first part was when he said it's close to midnight, and then the second time it played Thriller, it was the guy talking and then the laugh.
Okay. His
Okay.
name is Vincent Price, just so you know.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Edward Scissorhands?
I have.
Vincent Price is the creator of Edward.
Awesome.
That was his last movie he ever made.
Oh, okay.
107 movies that got made. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm obviously a big film buff.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that guy. But anyway, like that was his last film ever made. But that's who that guy is. His name is Vincent Price, and he's been on a lot of creepy stuff. So yeah, that's what his name is. It's after midnight. Interesting. It's close but no cigar for me on that one. I'll talk to you about that like once I get the group back together. It's tying together weirdly. We're gonna see what's going on.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot going on right now. We actually had some really high EMF that Burton caught already, so like extremely high for this location. So we'll talk about that when we group everybody together. But I'll give everybody kind of another couple of minutes just to see if we can get those extra subtle clues so I can solidify like who the hell's actually here.
Well, I don't know if there was anything over there, but she actually wanted to go further over there, but then I guess it felt like
I got
too
real creeped out.
creepy or something.
I
so
just
that's
got
why
like
we
a
came
bad
back.
feeling. Like
Like-
right in
like
that
over
corner
this
where
way.
the dumpster is.
Like
I
on the
had
other-
like
back
go in
in there.
front.
So when I say like we were standing in the servant slave quarters, it was probably pushed back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the Pinckney plat was a lot bigger than what is laid out for it right now.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously landlines move all the time. So it was probably a little bit further back. And again, you're still looking at servant and slave quarters back there, so we don't know like any of their names. We don't know what their jobs were. Every once in a while, we'll get something that says, you know, Dan and then Cook. So I don't know if it's Dan Cook a person or if Dan was the cook for the home. You know what I mean? So I never know, and I can't prove it. So I usually just have to toss that stuff out, unfortunately, because I can't verify it.
Yeah.
So, but if you getting a creeped out feeling back there, was it like uneasy? Was it stomach? Head?
Yeah, I just got like full body chills and I just felt like freaked out. I don't really know how to explain it.
We'll see. Well, you're fine now, obviously,
Yeah.
because you're chuckling.
Yeah.
Not to disregard, you know, the fact that she's just like, oh, I was creeped out, I was gonna hurl, you know. But she's chuckling and laughing now. She seems fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just say just stay out of that corner.
Yeah, it was just like an uncomfortable feeling. I wasn't like really scared. I was just like, I don't really want to be here.
Yeah.
Here, invited him.
Are
He's got,
you?
he's,
Yeah,
he
I
thought he saw
went-
something moving.
I saw it again. The same
So he
exact
got it on
thing.
damn film.
But I went over there just now trying to see if I could, like, you know, record the outer area, and I don't know. I felt like I was like starting to sweat and I felt like weight. I don't know how to explain it.
I guess that's pretty much levels it up.
I did hear a number, but I couldn't tell if it was 4 or 44. So, but
Were you thinking of anything in particular?
I asked how old she was when she got married, and then I just heard like something 4.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, if you may not remember, but she did get married in the year 1744.
Maybe that's
You put in
okay.
the word married,
Uh-huh.
she gave you 44.
Yeah. She's funny. Donald Trump. Love him. Okay, I'm just gonna leave these on and see if I hear anything. behind the Jamestown.
Behind the Jamestown?
Uh-huh. Many of the prayers. Feeling this way. Something about evidence. I did not like that. That was creepy.
What?
This song is for your friends. Okay, I'm gonna try again. I appreciate you giving me the year you were married, but I wanted to know what age you were when you got married. I refuse. It sounded like it said something about the devil. Pretty young. Thriller again. Wine and fog.
Alright, talk to me. What have we heard?
I heard take away from the prince. Or princess, one of the things.
Okay, anything else?
She said wine and fog when we
Oh, yeah,
first
wine. Like
stepped
wine
over here.
through fog or just wine and fog?
Jill, you're up.
Okay. I got, after On God, I got Losing, Who Are You, The Jail, Overhead, You Mean Nothing, Give It Away, but that was Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I don't know if I like just automatically knew that one. 10:30, Life, Asheville.
With the tools there are.
And then just message me, and then because we're always
Word list.
posting up
Where are we at on that, Jade?
Are you really trying to?
Allowing chose effectiveness.
Alright, we're going to put you back on mute. So, with this specific location, we have lampposts near us. Your baseline is an 8, so that's where we're going to start. They usually give off up to a 7. Cameras, if you haven't already done so, hit those record buttons. Just be discreet, and you want to not necessarily like keep the cameras pointed within our circle, because we're going to stay here, and we're going to, like I said, we're going to stir shit up and leave. So try to just point them out discreetly, because you want to go one way or the other down the alleyway. Otherwise, we're just going to have everybody's legs. So every ghost tour comes down here. I was going to take this out of my route, I'll be honest with you. Just because every ghost tour comes here, and it's a staple for everybody. But the guy follows me around. We're going to be near a place of raised emotion for him everywhere we go moving forward. That's why I was kind of like weirded out that he was over there by the Pinckney Mansion, because I don't normally hear from him over there. We hear from him everywhere else. But I figure I might as well keep him in the route because he follows me. Why not start from his place of death? That's kind of how this one goes. Every tour comes down here because it's called Philadelphia Alley, and it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So, I say some of the duels because it was illegal and they had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. Here's how the story goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. I already told you his name tonight. It's Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If we get brown-eyed girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. But you already had brown nose earlier. That's what threw me off the scent trail. But anyway, the doctor moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney that's helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. When he comes down here to Charleston from Rhode Island to prove that he's not after her money, he's going to make his own. And on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. Wasn't having a really good start to his time here in Charleston. And by the way, for the younger group, that's like having a really bad Uber driver today. Like they drop you off and there's going to be somebody to kill you when you get out of the car. But anyway, so somebody walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Those initials are the exact same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. Now, I was getting the letters RI on a regular spirit box through the headphones from you guys. So I bought a new device. That new device, basically, it's called an Envoy, but in essence, it's like a digital Ouija board. So what it does is it uses EMF like Burton's device and gives us letters instead of actual readouts. So we had the letters RI about 6 or 7 times in the past year to year and a half that I've actually had the device only when I bring up Ralph's name, just like to bring that up. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. They'll rent your room. We'll be good to go. The doc took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. So she gets wind of this. She's moving down because they're going to be married. Like that's how the arrangement was going to go. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is the reason why I hate the stories, because it's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit in your entire life is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. Let's move on. There's a reason why we're in Duelers Alley, by the way. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So one night they go see Richard III, and they're walking home discussing the new actor stages. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph was not. They start arguing, and then basically Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. They got really ugly between the two of them, and they went their separate ways. Now, Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of BS. Well, Doc saw this ad and rebutted with, let's go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this and somebody's going to die. Keep in mind this whole argument started over an actress, by the way. I just like to point that out. Kind of dumb shit went on in the 1700s. But anyway, two gentlemen came down here back to back, took their 10 paces, they turned, Doc points his gun in the air, shot his one shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. So Ralph has his one bullet still. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last day. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. So he probably just tried to bleed it out himself and failed, because obviously he died. Every ghost story that comes down here is telling their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras running, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, it's more than likely going to show up on one of those 3 devices. However, spirit boxes. Can't tell you how many times I've done spot checks on the Taylor device, and you guys already know what increments that I look into, and I hear the whistling part of the song and the word doctor immediately after the commercial.
You could do it to her.
All the time. I never look for it. It just shows up. It's just him saying hello. Now,
He did that twice, actually. He said hello, and then hello, like, super loud after.
well, the hello in my sense would be him whistling, letting us know that he's here, and then you would hear some doctory medicine, medicinal type commercial right out. So I did write down your hello just because I would want more to it. But again, the whistling part, it shows up. You can't make it up, guys. It is what it is. If I find it, you'll have it in your notes. If you're going to try this on your own, I know some of you are leaving tomorrow, and you're going to walk all the way through here and listen for those whistles used to be a wall halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. And that wall was there because this was called Cow Alley. Basically, they kept all the livestock in the city of Charleston. Cows, goats, and chickens. Why am I telling you this? Because they started down there and slowly worked their way this way, building the alley. Those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, fingerprint swipes, and others. I used to take my bricks all the way through, obviously, let me take out of here from that portion. But it was mainly for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick, by the way. That's the last place you're going to find that kid. It's just like a grave. You're not going to find him there. You're not going to be staring at that brick in the afterlife. So November 26th, 2020, took my entire group down there to go, show like where the brick is and keep moving. And my group stopped and basically waited for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful, not realizing that we were out of bounds for tours. My daughter was on the tour that night, and the new owner of that mansion came out and was screaming at me. My daughter thought it was great, by the way. She thought it was hysterical that her dad was getting yelled at. She was all about it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this directly, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. So, I don't do Thanksgiving ever. Now, the next day after that was the 28th. The date's irrelevant. I'm getting to it. And I called my partner that morning, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what I needed to do next. Because again, I'm so new in this industry. He's got to tell me what to do next. He's laughing at me, just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you're not allowed to go down that far. You're allowed to go down halfway. So tonight, you got to reroute your group. Well, it's Black Friday, and I'm sold out again. I don't have anything going on over here. And what I told my group that night was, I don't even believe in the next story. I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you about pirates next, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that over there. But anyway, before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be discussing. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. Took them around the corner, told them what I did know about piracy at the time, which wasn't much, by the way, and somebody else heard the number 300. Don't know what that means. I wrote it down. I did the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So, that's normally the reaction that I get from you folks. I was actually pissed off that night. Let me explain why. I have a master's degree in creative writing. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, everything I do is about writing and research. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, if you know anything about pirates. That's a problem for me, because whenever you guys heard something on one of my investigations over there, I had to read a shit ton of books to be able to verify what the hell was going on over there. I had this great story built up, and now there's a parking lot attendant verifying that anybody that walks through there cannot linger. They can only cut through directly. Like, we're not allowed to stop and investigate the space anymore because it belongs to the church. That's the giant people that you guys are seeing right now. However, we're going to go up around the corner to go look over at that cemetery based off of that church's cemetery and see what the hell's going on over there based off of Braden's camera. Word list. What do we got going on with that? Anything that's been here?
Ballot, mall, behind, court, bus, all around. Infinite.
Is it ballot or ballet?
Ballot, B-A-L-L-O.
Okay. Kayla, did you hear anything?
Not anything besides the two hellos.
Two hellos. And Jill?
I got actual flags. Like almost like on the car, but not many. Not many. Not big.
Gotcha.
It's next. Hi. Listen up. Hey. And a lot of blue memoirs.
Yeah, I got like a bunch of weird, just like extra sounds from like songs, like a howl and like a you know. So. From Ghostbusters.
Anything at all? Okay. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We are going to go up and around the corner. I'm going to do a light swap with Braden and tell you guys what goes on with this cemetery before we go hit it up. We are going to get you unmuted along the way, Taylor, so that way you can listen in. Once you get up there and stop, you'll pause again. And then we want to make sure you get a nice bright light over there for Braden. And then, of course, David, with your camera, like, if in the event we actually capture something with his camera, like, I want you two side by side so I can compare the footage, like, next to each other. So you're both going to be right up against the gate, like, once we get over there. But, again, definitely want to get, remember, Dr. Lad's going to trail us. So hopefully when we're up and over, because we're literally going over there. The only way to get there is up around this way. So hopefully Dr. Lad's going to start coming through as well still, as we're kind of going through the remainder of our night. We have seen a few like weird anomalies by the church. Like we've had a 9 and a 12 over the past, I would say, 8 to 10 weeks that I've been forced to go over there. So I'll show you where those were found, and you can either try to debunk it. We haven't been able to debunk it yet, or maybe you'll get another one. So we'll kind of see what goes on over there. All right, let's go learn about crazy cemetery stuff. And I'm sorry, there's going to be a couple of like sick big stories for the remainder. Jaden, you got anything?
Just the word alien.
List this week though. Nice and still. So if something blue goes across the screen, that's perfect.
I'm a scaredy cat.
She scares herself sometimes. So.
I'm about to jump.
Like, we work in a haunted house and I scare Joel in the hallways.
I'm gonna go walk up to her.
What'd you get?
Bitch.
That was basically the guy that just walked by. Did I say that out loud? I sure did.
This is
Billy?
spiky.
They might want to be that high. They might not be real hip to us climbing the gate. So let's get you down off the Any numbers or nothing? It's a rarity. Again, I've pretty much been forced over here for about 2.5 months, and we only had 2 instances where we got something.
There's this one grave over here, but when I look at it at my camera, if I move it the right angle, it just looks like a shoulder, and it terrifies me.
So you guys see the light off to the left? Obviously you do because it's super bright.
Mhm.
The church put that there on purpose to stop people from taking pictures because it creates light flares. But obviously my camera's like carved right through it.
Yeah.
So
My camera's struggling to see it. It's great.
it can be a little bit of a struggle, but once I do send the videos over to YouTube, so I'm able to obviously watch them on a computer. You guys will be able to watch them on your TV. So I don't always follow up with the cameras in real time, is because they're small. But that's a great shot though. I don't think anybody's ever like done that with a thermal before, where there's like literally like, be able to see something moving through there. Everybody stays pretty low with it.
No, 2 nights ago. Yeah, it's
Real life. Taylor, anything? That one's harder, just so you know. You gave up an easier one.
Yeah, well, I can throw a lot of these.
You were doing pretty good with that one over there. Joe, what do you got?
Oh.
What do you slew? Let's see what you got.
No, but it's a lot.
I'm walking a cherry pick.
I got whatever, come, 5:30, how are you, more money, baby, why, God makes, but at the end, lies, the end, history, walk slow, love you, heart, I'm afraid, die in the end, walk off, and I got walk off right before the boys came around this corner, and then they made everybody jump, and then I got bitch as they were walking down.
This guy's so.
10:30,
This ghost is very sassy.
pigeon, objection, no behavior. I'm getting a lot of time.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at that.
Because I've gotten 10:30 twice. But I got 10:30 at 10:30. It's 10:33 now.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Gosh, it was just on my mind. I got North Charleston and Disworthy.
Anything with the word Charleston, 843, because that's our area code, I can push it out here. And what's your timer look like? Where you at?
5:50.
Okay, so we'll give it about another minute or so. Nobody's bugging us today. Again, all the tours end here. So just let them have it. I'm working on another story like across the street, so that way I don't have to worry about this over here. It's just there's some finer details I want to get nabbed down before I really start going through that one. It's a weird one, and I don't have a whole lot of evidence from it, but I want to make sure I have the details and the years and that kind of like those actual research. Because believe it or not, it's a parable, but the parable actually came from some truth. So it's kind of like you have to still get everything right before you can really start laying it out. I tested it out on a couple of I had 2 people one night. I was like, let's go over here. Let me see if I can tell you this story. Because they were obviously a lot quicker with things, than us moving as a pack of 8. But
This goes sassy.
Taylor, anything? See, right up.
See if maybe one of them's gonna insult me for saying we're sassy.
Can't get to them.
See, told you we had little boy here too.
It's been 7 minutes.
Heard any numbers? No.
I heard 7.
Heard 7?
7 minutes.
Yeah, that's that first one. Yeah, they usually get double 7. Spooky for July.
We've seen like black specks.
Yeah, they call that parallax. So it's just the way that the lighting hits things and you're moving the camera, so it's gonna look like it's almost like shadow work in the background, but it's really just the way that the light is being picked up by the lens.
Now I'm like seeing like pure black spots like hitting right around the grave, like
Okay.
to the left
Okay.
of this grave.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's weird.
See when we blow it up on a computer screen. I think I should probably call it on this one. Not a whole lot going on here. Do you guys agree? I would say so.
I
8
got
minutes now.
check engine light and hey, I'm dying.
Check
So-
the engine light.
Got a lot of hate.
Oh no, our car is gonna be destroyed when we get back.
Alright, hit those stop buttons, gents. Let's get them pulled down. We're gonna go to you. They may lift up one of your earmuffs and just say the word louder. So just kind of keep that in mind. When we are done, again, you're not gonna be able to hear me to know we're done, nor will you be able to see me to know that we're done. They will tap you on the leg. That means you're done. Take off your own gear. I never touch anybody on the bench. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. Now, everything you hear, yes, no, anything that shows up. If it's a weird sound, tell me what the sound is. Sometimes I ask about sounds and things going on around the city. We never know what's going on. Yes, no's are okay in this instance, only because you have no idea what the hell I'm asking. That's the fun part. So again, every little thing you hear, you're going to say it as you hear it. Again, I'm going to be asking you questions. So have you tested your spirit box to make sure it's loud enough to where you're going to be good at not being able to hear me?
I know what volume is on it too.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to see it.
I can put my hands on it. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, they keep
I've
talking about
memorized.
chicken.
Yeah, we've been getting chicken, spicy chicken.
Yeah,
Now
buy
we're
chicken.
Spicy chicken?
Um,
We should get-
now, while Bert was over there, on 3 different occasions, while he was listening, while he had that headset on, 3 different occasions, I got very low guttural growl, and it was like it was trying to say words, but I just couldn't make anything
Couldn't
of
make it
it.
out.
And it was no static behind it, everything else silent, just that growl. But I didn't know how to text that out, so.
Okay. Just verbal, tell me, like I'll write down growls heard. I mean, just kind of take that for what it is. I mean, I can't count it as evidence at this point because there's no growling that comes out of a gunshot.
Yeah.
So, kind of take that for what it's worth. This is not going to be virtual reality where Jurassic Park, like eating your face off kind of shit. So what's going to happen is you're going to look straight ahead. It will line up with you. Your focus is right here. You're going to have a galaxy off in the distance, just kind of moving around so you don't fall asleep, just there ambient. Every once in a while, you're going to have an image that shows up in front of it. Tell us what the image is in the simplest terms possible. You're going to have 2 ladies talking over you that aren't going to know that you're talking. So it's going to be like 3 people, bench, tree. If they're not saying much, I'll say, Braden, give me more detail. What are those 3 people wearing? You know, those kind of things. Do we have males? Do we have females? I might ask you something more specific, but keep it as simple as possible. Again, 3 people talking that won't be able to hear each other. That's where things get a little wonky. So again, slide that over your face. Glasses are not going to fit in there. Ladies, blindfolds down, headphones on. Let's do this. It is 11:15 right now.
No longer there.
Joke. Can you hear me? What color is a blue banana? Perfect. Henry, I got two ladies on the bench tonight. This is Michaela and Jill. They can hear you. And Braden in the middle. He can see whatever you want us to see. Henry, let's talk about your work. Can you tell us what you did for a living? We're going to start off like we always do. Nice and simple. Breaking news.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I know I took a night off, Henry. Did you miss me? Perfect time.
Cut hair.
Henry, what sound are we hearing right now out of the church? Henry, what sound just came out of the church?
Siren.
I'm not talking about the siren. I'm talking about the sound from the church. Not from the wedding down the street.
All in one.
See me.
Well, we want to see what you're seeing, so why don't you give us an image? Show Braden something.
A church.
Fake humans.
Wait, no, it's like a building with a, I don't know, like a little bell area.
A little bell area?
Yeah, and a weird pole that looks like a clock.
How big is this building?
I can see you.
2 stories.
Would you consider it big or small?
Big.
Okay, we'll take it. And you guys will all be able to see those images that Braden is seeing, and they'll also be in your report. Like, we'll see them tonight, just so you guys know. And then it'll be in your report in the morning as well. Henry, back to you. Let's get back to your work. What did you do for a living?
Exciting news.
Wants to leave.
Henry, let's get back to your work. What did you do? How did you provide for the family? I'm surprised. Volume-wise, they're doing great. I thought for sure they were both going to be loud. Henry? Henry?
Cowbell?
I'll take that as a direct answer.
825.
Henry, thank you for that answer.
Low country.
Let's get back to your work. What did you do for a living? Let's keep it nice
Demon?
and simple. No, we're not going there. Henry, talk about your work. Let's talk about your last page. Let's talk about where it's being held. Tell us what type of building your work is being held in.
This morning.
What type of building is that? You can show us. We can interpret that type of building inside of an image.
Lady power.
Henry,
You're not gonna find us.
tell us what type of building your work is held in. Where is it held? Tell us.
Orange.
Can you tell me the weather?
Henry,
Computer.
Henry, did Dr. Lag come with you tonight?
Hangman.
Dr. Lag's code word, by the way, is the word purple, because it's not something you would commonly hear on the radio.
Crowd of people sitting down, kind of like church seats, looking at the library
back.
shelf.
Looking at a what?
Like a library shelf. There's a woman like showing.
Looking at a library. Thank you, Henry. Wow,
Shelf books all messed up.
that's good. Henry, let's get back to your work. Thank you for that answer and an image. Can you show us your last page that you wrote? Can you give us a similar style image and why it's so significant? I know it's kind of a rough topic to bring up, but tell us why or show us why it's so significant. What's so great about your last page?
No.
You want me to ask about something else?
Serious.
I will
time.
stay.
I'm gonna stick to the last page.
He's waiting.
Who's waiting?
Max.
I don't know who Max is. Henry, your last page, please.
Help her up.
Henry.
Reality. Oh, I know.
Henry, you were doing so well. If you want to change the subject, you have to tell us to what. Could be your son, could be your wife, your father. I know a little bit about him. But you gotta be a little bit more versatile with us. Did you say haunted? What's haunted, Henry?
Inside of her.
Wow. Can you give us the birth date of your son, please? Okay, we're down to about 3.5 minutes.
Get away.
Are you mad that I asked about your son? That's a yes and a question. So, I'll show some respect. We'll change the subject, but you gotta tell me. Henry, don't get quiet on me now. We're having a nice little conversation. I asked about your son's birthday. Tell us what the holiday was, or just give us the number. We're an image of that holiday.
Newcomer.
Yeah, these are always newcomers that I bring.
Lost.
The weasel.
That's the name of one of our radio stations. Henry, your son's birthday, please. It's a holiday. It's an easy holiday to give an image.
She would have.
Oh,
What do you got?
just kind of like what? Oh, just like a moon, and then a real blue and pink, purple sunset.
Okay. Henry, not really getting the interpretation of that, but I'll take a look at it in a minute.
It looks like it has a smile, like a face.
Okay. Henry, your son's birthday, please. Tell us the holiday or the number. Yeah. What was the holiday?
Saying colors
Come
kinda
with me.
Christmas.
Say that again.
Colors kind of remind me of Christmas. That's
Ooh.
Henry, are you trying to show us Christmas?
They want more information.
Yes, we do want some more information.
Her.
Tell us some more information. Willie's birthday. When is it? What holiday?
There's no way.
Can you not find the word in the frequency? It's gotta be
Being a
hard.
family.
Love Jesus.
It's gotta be hard to do in the month of August. Henry, we're down to less than a minute. It's your last chance to answer any of the questions that I've already asked. Willie's birthday. About your work, your last page. You gave us where it's being held. If Dr. Ladd is here, last chance.
She ran.